Welcome back, guys. Another day, another AI novelty, of course. But this time, it's no joke. It comes from Adobe themselves. And this is going to be very good for adoption, seeing as so many companies and so many individuals already use Adobe. They'll be diving right into it, just as we are. Some of the novelty includes generating backgrounds from an image. It seems like it can even do the video for that, which is amazing. I'm super excited to try that out. You can add metallic or different kind of materials to a specific moving object. Again, this is a moving object. It's just not just an image, right? It's a video where you can change metal to plastic and so on and so forth. Adobe has been at it for years, so it comes as no surprise and a no-brainer for them to include AI generation in all their softwares. Photoshop, After Effects, etc. Now, what's interesting about this Firefly, this first iteration, is that they're going to use a combination of the other tools that they've been using in their other software into this, because they want to train their software to learn how to use those tools along with the user's input, and they're basically using users as beta testers for their other softwares. Once they get this down to a T, they're going to re-include AI into each individual one of their softwares, most certainly. Now we can see how you can change your clothes here. You can select your clothes and then just at a click of a button change it, change the background. The clothing thing is going to be very popular with the ladies, I bet, but even us, of course. It's really fantastic. Now, it strikes me as a bit too good to be true because you can really do everything in Adobe. Like, who's going to use anything else at that point? So let's see when we get our hands on it if it's really as good as it seems. This here we were already seen a moment ago, where you can select your shirt, for example, and remove it. It gives you a few options, as you can see down there. You put a jacket or anything else, and you get to pick from one of the options. Now, we've seen that in Stable Diffusion, of course, but the fact that everything's included into one suite is really fantastic. And of course, very easy to use, since people are already used to using all the Adobe softwares. Now, what I find curious here is that, as you can see, when it does the card, it actually generates text. We've not had normal text being generated in any of the other softwares, Midjourney or Stable Diffusion. We know how text comes up when we try to type it into one of the other ones as a prompt. But here it seems to give out perfectly correct text. Now, it's probably adding an extra layer on top of the AI generated image. So the text is not really AI generated itself, but it's still impressive that it can mesh all these things together. So add multiple layers, one layer of AI, then add other layers of text and multiple other layers of video and different things you can use. Now, what I also find fascinating is this text to brush option, where you could generate using AI, using text, any kind of brush when you have a specific task where you have to have multiple repetitive designs, like in this case where they have the flower. So you could just repeat the flower all over the place. You can create a brush that actually clones that. It's quite helpful. I also like this 3D to image option, where in the case where you have like items for a video game or just any kind of 3D item, in fact, you could take a picture of an item. That would count as a 3D item. But in this case, it's more detailed since they designed the item in Blender or any 3D software. But you could also take a picture of a 3D item, of a bottle or something like that, and then ask for a tower, and it reskins it and creates a tower or a cake or anything else you want. Now, we've seen this in Stable Diffusion already, but again, when you have everything in one app, it's so much more helpful than having to download all kinds of different models for Stable Diffusion and make sure they work correctly, and then combine them with all other kinds of models. I mean, it's so much easier to just have everything ready for you. Of course, what we also have here is the extended image. And the extend image basically is an in-painting system. So if you have an aspect ratio, a certain aspect ratio that you're not pleased with, a picture you took that's, a vertical instead of horizontal, instead of landscape, it's in portrait mode. You could basically upload your portrait mode and ask Firefly to extend it, and suddenly you have a portrait mode for that same image because it's going to in-paint whatever is missing. Now you may be wondering, how do I get a hold of this? I want to try it. I don't blame you, so do I. What we do is we go to firefly.adobe.com and we sign up or sign in the case you already have an account, and then you just hit request access, which is going to open up a form for you to fill. I'm going to do that now.
A few moments later.
Once that's complete, it's going to tell you thank you for signing up to try Adobe Firefly. And if you're accepted, make sure you check your email every once in a while. They'll be sending you an email giving you access. And then the sky's the limit. I found another very cool thing as well by Redditor 2 Kiloballs. Thank you very much, sir. He created a free website where you can train your own Dream Booth models, and you have ControlNet to use on those models. Basically, the result would be something like this. So it would be definitely cool to try that. I'll show you how that works. To start, what you want to do is go to the website trainengine.ai. It's going to ask you to sign in. What you want to do is sign in via GitHub. If you don't have a GitHub account, you can create it on the spot. It's very easy. Once you've created it, they're going to send you a code to your email, which you're going to have to put to prove it's you. And you might get some kind of error, which I've gotten once, but you can ignore that. So to begin, what you're going to want to do is hit the train model once you're logged in. You're going to want to create a model hot word, which is basically a keyword you'll be using in your sentences, in your prompts, that can have reference to whatever you were trying to train, whether it's your face or some sort of style, etc. The visibility is set to public, so let's say in my case, I could write myself if I upload pictures of me. Then the visibility is public for now. Private is coming soon, as it says here. You can write a description in case you're training a lot of different models, just for you to remember what you've been training and for which reason, but this is optional. You don't have to do that. Then you hit create. Once you've done that, it's going to ask you to select the type of concept, whether it's, you're not going to get this option. This option I got because I already trained. But you're going to select a style, whether it's a style, an object, a face, and then you can go into advanced options, which I don't recommend unless you've done this before. But you could set a certain seed number and then how many training steps you think it requires. Sometimes more training steps give you better results, sometimes they give you worse results. So again, if you're not 100% sure what you're doing, better not to do it. So if you're trying to train your face yourself, what you have to do is you have to add those files here. I would recommend about 8 to 15 different images of your face. Best would be if they're in different angles. So left, right, looking at the camera, looking up, looking down, etc. Once you have those images, you can take them on your phone, or if you have them already, you just add them all here, drag and drop, or just click here to upload. Once you've done that, you'll be able to hit upload, and it's going to begin training. Now, it does take a while to train. It might take between 5 and 15 minutes to finish. It'll have a little box here saying that it's training. It's currently training. You have to wait for it to be done. Once it's done, you're ready. Now, I just left it at default, a painting of Jassam, which is the name I picked for my training photos, which is myself basically. And these are the ones I got. Not too bad, not too shabby, not too shabby. I do need some sun. I do need some sun to look a little bit better. But yeah, I'm kind of jealous of these pictures. I've been playing around with it, and I noticed that what you can also do is you can remove background, which is quite interesting. Once you get the result you want, you press remove background, and there you go. You've removed the background. Now you can place the picture somewhere else. You can also upscale the picture. You can check the details to see the model strength, etc. Keep in mind this is a work in progress, and I imagine it's going to get better in time, but it's kind of fun to play around with already. Last but not least, I wanted to give a shout out to this wonderful developer. Her name is Caroline Zhang. I'm sorry if I mispronounced her name. She made this AI photo remixing game where you can load two different pictures that you take and get a third random remix of them. And the interesting thing, the wonderful thing, is that she actually used AI to make this AI app. So she used ChatGPT and was able to create the app in 2 days. This is something definitely that we all wish we could do and we wish to do. Let's hear her explain how her app works.
Weekend, it's an AI. I made my first app this weekend. It's an AI photo remixing game called Trash Baby. So first you take 2 photos and the AI makes a third photo based on the 2 photos that you just took. And you can keep adding more photos and keep remixing. So to build this, I used React Native, and if you guys don't know, I'm a designer and I didn't used to like coding, but now thanks to ChatGPT, it's so easy to get started. I just type in what I want to build, and ChatGPT tells me what code to use to get started. It's not perfect. You can see some rendering bugs here. Oh, that's me. But I was able to make so much progress.
Well, there you have it, folks. I'm going to leave the information for Caroline in my bio, as well as all the other information pertaining to this video. And I will see you soon. Bye-bye.